Hello, Job Active family. My name is Claire Hutton and I am a Job Active Regional Strategy Specialist with COACT. So, in light of starting this year in collaboration, this month we are excited to have one of the network superstars on hand to share some really great insights as well as challenges. So, David Maxey Fisher is a workforce solutions consultant with Impact Community Services. He has been with the organisation for 3 years and is based out of the Bundaberg, Queensland site. So last year, David was a recipient of COACT's Steve Lawrence Excellence Award and also the finalist for the NESA Award for Excellence, Innovation and Collaboration in Indigenous Employment. So hi David, welcome.
Hi, thank you Claire.
Cool. So I'm really glad that you and I have got, 10, 15 minutes together to unpack a couple of questions. So if you could name one thing in 2019 that you would be most proud of, what do you think it would be?
Claire, I think it's that I've had the opportunity to build some great relationships. So relationships with employers, but also with work colleagues, and job seekers as well.
Yeah, great.
Particularly this year, I was also able to build up some great relationships with through the NAIDOC committee and the Algabindi Institute, which is an Indigenous RTO, and Gadajul, who is one of the biggest employers here in town. So we're in the people business, and for me, my job's all about relationships, and I've really enjoyed that this year.
Yeah, fantastic. The work that you've done in the Indigenous space is incredible. So thank you for that. So share with us how Impact celebrates the wins.
Okay, so Pyra, our General Manager, she's excellent when we have a milestone success. We celebrate as a team, go out for lunch and that sort of thing. But there's something that I even like more than that. We've got a process that's called the Office Fairy. And the way the Office Fairy works is that anyone can send an email to this Office Fairy, and we don't know who it is. We've got our suspicions, but we don't know. And it gives you an opportunity to catch people out doing the right thing. And I've used that many times, and I've been the recipient of it once as well. And it just, there are so many things that go on in an organisation. Celebrating the small things is just as important as about celebrating the big things.
I agree, absolutely. That's pretty motivating. What did you get nominated for? What was the last thing the Office Fairy said about you?
I can't even remember, Claire, but I can remember the last one I nominated, and that was all about one of my colleagues that had a really hard conversation with a level C job seeker, and she did a fantastic job of making sure that she de-escalated the situation and also was able to make the job seeker feel valued and get the result and send the message. So I was very excited to be able to make that nomination.
Yeah, perfect. That's really cool. So what does the job seeker journey mean to you?
Okay, so the job seeker journey for me is not like a straight line. It's a really bumpy line. But I believe that there's a right time and a right opportunity for all of our job seekers. And I guess our job is to walk side by side with that person to try and align those two moments of the right time and the right opportunity. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's pretty, when I used to work frontline, that was the mindset that I used to have as well. Every job seeker is different, and it's being able to be there. You're their co-pilot, I guess, is another way that you could potentially look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what would you say are your top 3 challenges in your role?
For me, one of them is government policy not exactly aligning to my own beliefs. So that's always a challenge, and delivering a contract that's a government contract. So that would probably be my number one thing. And then getting too emotionally involved sometimes. It's hard. We're in the people business, and your passions do sometimes come to the surface, and it's important that we find a way to manage that. And probably linked to that one, overcommitting to causes. So it is important that we have balance in the work that we do as well and make the correct decision at the correct time.
Yeah. So based on your three challenges, because there are challenges in our industry, as we all know, how would you say you manage your day to day, and how do you set yourself up for success?
Okay. It's a mixture to be successful, I think. I use technology to its advantage. So I use a mobile phone and I use my calendar to make sure that I've got everything in place. But I'm also old-fashioned because I'm about to turn 50 and I've got an old-fashioned diary where I write in my pen, and I'm really big on to-do lists, and there is nothing more satisfying than getting the pen out and just scraping out that you've done one of those things.
Do you know what? I agree.
Use technology, but I love the cross out.
Yeah, me too. So we work in an industry where we're constantly juggling balls, and it can be fast paced. So how do you manage stress?
So I use something that I call PERMS. So for me, portion control with my eating. So I don't diet, but I make sure that I don't solve my emotional problems with food, because I've done that in the past, and it's not a recipe for success. Then exercise, like I go for a walk, and I've started going for a bit of a run every single morning. I find that is incredibly useful for me to start my day that way. I read. I think because of social media, it makes your brain work too fast. You skip over too many things, and we use it all the time, and it's got its purpose. But I make a discipline of reading every single day. It helps me focus and concentrate, and it also allows me to drift into something that's not work. Music, when I'm exercising, I use music, but I also have headphones with me all the time, and there are certain times in the day that I'm feeling a bit edgy. I put on some music to even that out sometimes. And the last thing is sleep. I'm very, very disciplined in my sleep routine. I go to bed at 9:15 every night, and I wake up every day at 5:15. And I don't know whether it's an age thing, but that's in the last 3 or 4 years, that's really helped me be focused and ready for work.
Yeah, good. You've got some good tips in there for people. I'm a huge advocate of exercising. It doesn't have to be high intensity, but just moving your body on a day-to-day has really helped me as well manage my stress. So, you've got some good tips there. So failure, do you see it as destruction or motivation?
Well, if we define failure as things not working out the way that I want or the way that I planned, then I fail all the time. I fail every day in my personal life and also in my work life. But I guess I've reached the age that I understand that failure is just another opportunity to learn something, and I don't get too excited about failure, and I don't get too excited about success.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good. So what is one change you'd like to see with the new JobActive contract? We're getting closer and closer, so the new iteration rolls out in 2022. So what would you like to see change?
No worries. Now, this isn't for everyone, and I understand it's not for everyone, but I would get rid of the compliance framework.
Okay. And why do you say that?
What I've seen is employment consultants spending too much time having to be police rather than to do the fundamental job that I think that employment services is about, which is to motivate and get people on the right track. I think the compliance framework is a very blunt instrument and has just as many negative aspects as there are positive. So I'm not saying that there aren't positive aspects, and the compliance framework is a lever that is being pulled, but from my own personal belief, and if I had, was the person in authority, I would get rid of it.
Yeah. It's interesting. There are some government contracts currently rolled out at the moment where there is less compliance and an uptake in engagement. So it'll be really interesting to see what 2022 looks like.
No, absolutely.
So what is one piece of advice you'd give to someone just starting out in employment services?
Congratulations is what I'd say first of all, but also that you're not God and you don't have a magic wand, but be authentic in all of your dealings with your colleagues, with your clients, and know that you can have a positive influence in people's lives.
Absolutely. And it's celebrating those little wins, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So finally, give us a little sneak peek into something you're excited to work on this year. What are you doing up in Bundaberg with Impact? Have you got a project?
No worries. Yeah, so I'm always excited with whatever comes up, but right at the moment, there are a lot of trials going on. So there's a regional employment trial that Impact is involved with the Bundaberg City Council, and they are doing some interesting things with long-term mature-aged clients, and it's been fascinating to see what they're doing, both negatively and positively. And I think there's lots of opportunities like that with the change of contract coming up that gives us an opportunity to learn and to grow.
Perfect, good. You certainly have lots of pilots that have been rolled out, certainly in 2019. So I'm excited to see the successes in 2020, not only for you, but for Impact as a service partner as well. So,
and for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. So look, that wraps up our questions for the session. So thank you so much for your time today, David. You've given us some great insights and advice for existing staff members, but also new people that are new to our industry. So we'd love for you to join us at the JobActive Frontline Staff Community Group. At the end of the day, it's only for COACT service partners. So we'd love to see you guys there. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Claire. Have a good day.
Thanks.